Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are spinning the globe and landing in a city that I feel like is having a massive main character moment right now.
Oh, for sure.
It's vibrant, it is incredibly fast-paced, and it's topping the charts for digital nomads and business travelers alike. We are talking about Seoul.
It really is the place to be, whether you are looking at the tech sector, the explosion of, cultural exports like K-pop and K-dramas,
Right.
or just the sheer efficiency of the infrastructure. South Korea is pulling people in like a magnet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you see the highlight reel on social media, the neon streets in Hongdae, the serene Han River parks, the 24-hour cafe culture, and it is so easy to think, okay, that's it.
I'm going
Like,
out.
pack my laptop, I'm booking a flight, and I'm going to live there for 3 months.
And that is a fantastic impulse. Seoul is an incredible city to live in. But, and there is always a but on this show.
There's always a but.
Diving into Seoul without a map of the financial landscape, well, it can be a shock to the system.
A shock to the wallet, specifically.
Exactly. Because the housing market in Korea operates on a completely different operating system than what most of us are used to in, say, North America or Europe.
It's not just a currency conversion thing.
No, not at all. The fundamental rules of how you rent an apartment are unique.
Right. So our mission today is to unpack the real cost of living in Seoul for a short-term stay.
Yeah.
We're talking about that sweet spot, a few months, maybe up to a year.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to look at the data, everything from the massive deposit shocks to the hidden utility traps, and figure out the smartest way to, set up shop.
And we have some excellent source material today to guide us. We are pulling data and insights from moveandstay.com.
Okay.
They've been navigating this space for over 25 years, specifically connecting business travelers and nomads with extended stay solutions across the Asia-Pacific region.
Wow, so that's a lot of historical data.
It is. They specialize in that middle ground serviced apartments, corporate housing, so they have a very clear view of how the traditional market compares to the more flexible one.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The biggest hurdle. If you've ever opened a Korean real estate app, you've probably seen a number that made your jaw drop. And I'm not talking about the monthly rent.
You are talking about the deposit.
I am. In most cities, a deposit is what, 1 month's rent? Maybe 2.
If you're unlucky.
What is going on in Seoul?
In Seoul, you are dealing with two main concepts, jeonsi and wons. And to really understand the cost, you have to understand jeonsi.
Okay.
This is a system where instead of paying monthly rent, you pay a massive lump sum deposit to the landlord. We're talking typically 50 to 80% of the property's market value.
Wait, 50 to 80%. So if an apartment is worth $500,000, I'm handing over hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Correct. And then you live there rent-free for 2 years. You get the money back when you leave.
But the landlord just invests it.
That's the idea. For them, it's capital. For you, it's a massive amount of your own money just tied up.
Okay, but surely a digital nomad coming for 6 months isn't dropping 300 grand on a deposit.
No, they aren't. They are looking at wons, which is the monthly rent system. But here's the catch, and this is what the data from Move and Stay really highlights. Even for monthly rentals in the traditional local market, that deposit culture is intense.
How intense are we talking?
The data shows that for a standard local lease, the deposit ranges from a low of about $3,750 USD.
Okay, that's a lot, but maybe doable.
Up to $37,500 USD or more.
For rental.
For a monthly rental. In Korean won, that is 5 million to 50 million won.
Just to get the keys.
Just to get the keys. And remember, this is money that just sits in the landlord's account for the whole lease.
That is wild. So if I'm a business traveler and I just want to be in Seoul for 4 months, the market is asking me to lock up maybe $30,000 in dead capital.
Precisely. And that is where the real cost comes in. It's the opportunity cost. That is 30 grand you aren't investing, you aren't using for your business.
And you certainly can't use it to travel around Asia on the weekends.
Not at all.
Which brings us to the alternative. The sources point to serviced apartments and corporate housing, the kind of inventory Move and Stay specializes in. How does the math change there?
It flips completely. This is what we're calling the short-term solution. When you look at serviced apartments, co-living spaces, or extended stay hotels, that deposit requirement basically evaporates.
Go on.
We are looking at a range of 0 to maybe 500 US dollars.
From 37,000 to 500.
Right. Now, the trade-off is you will pay a higher monthly sticker price for rent compared to a local who paid that massive deposit.
Sure.
But you have to look at the total cost of ownership. You are paying for liquidity. You are keeping your cash in your own pocket.
It makes so much sense. It's a premium for freedom.
It is flexibility, and for the demographic we were talking about, professionals, corporate teams, people on temporary assignment, that flexibility is worth its weight in gold. The demand is huge for it.
It's also about the friction, right? I imagine signing a traditional lease in Korea isn't exactly a walk in the park if you don't speak the language.
Oh, absolutely. The bureaucracy is significant. You often need a special ID card, an alien registration card, just to sign the papers or set up utilities.
What a headache.
A service department bypasses all of that. You land, you check in, you are live. Move and Stay has built their business around removing that friction for, like we said, 25 years.
Okay, so we've secured housing without liquidating our life savings.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the monthly burn rate, because I saw something in the notes about hidden housing costs that made me a little nervous.
You should be nervous. This is the classic rookie mistake. You look at the rent and think that's your final bill. We need to talk about utilities and the Guanlibi.
Guanlibi, that sounds ominous. What is it?
It feels like it when you get the bill. It's the building maintenance fee. So in a traditional office tel, which is a common studio apartment, you might see a low rent, say 700,000 won.
Sounds great.
But the Guanlibi can easily add another 100,000 to 150,000 won right on top of that.
And that covers your utilities.
Usually no. That just covers the elevator, the security guard, cleaning the hallway. You still have to pay for your own electricity, gas, and water separately.
And I understand that Korean utilities aren't exactly a flat rate.
No, they are volatile. And this is crucial for anyone planning a stay. Korea has a climate of extremes.
It's not just mild weather all year round.
Far from it. Summers are incredibly hot and humid. You will want the air conditioning running. But Korea uses a progressive tax system for electricity.
Break that down for us. What does that mean?
It means the more you use, the higher the rate per unit becomes. It isn't linear. So if you cross a certain threshold, say, by leaving the AC on while you're at work, your bill doesn't just double, it can triple or even quadruple.
Ouch.
And then there is winter. Korean homes use onbol, which is floor heating. It is gas-powered. It is the most comfortable heat you will ever experience.
Toasty warm floors sounds nice.
It's amazing, but gas prices fluctuate globally.
So you could be looking at a utility bill that just swings wildly from month to month.
The sources estimate that separate utility bills can run anywhere from 100,000 to 200,000 won, so about 75 to 150 USD a month. But that can spike significantly in peak seasons.
This sounds like another argument for the all-inclusive model.
It is. This is another reason why service departments or these corporate housing solutions, like the ones on Move and Stay, are so popular for midterm stays. They often bundle these costs.
So it's all in one price.
The rent might look higher on paper, but it includes the room, the Guanlibi, the electricity, water, gas, and usually high-speed internet.
So you have a fixed cost. You know exactly what is leaving your bank account on the first of the month.
Predictability. When you are working in a foreign country, removing variables is key. You don't want to be deciphering a gas bill in Hangul or panicking because it's January and you like a warm apartment.
I love that. It's about preserving your mental bandwidth.
Exactly.
Okay. So we have a roof over our heads and the lights are on. Now we have to actually live. You mentioned earlier that Seoul can be incredibly cheap or incredibly expensive depending on how you behave.
This is the lifestyle inflation factor, or as I like to call it, the import tax.
The import tax. Tell me more.
Seoul is a food paradise, but there is a massive price divergence. If you live like a local, you can save a fortune.
Give us some examples.
Okay, let's talk lunch. You can go to a local kimbap shop or a convenience store, and Korean convenience stores are legendary.
I've heard.
You can get a roll of kimbap rice, veggies, maybe some tuna wrapped in seaweed for 3,000 won. That's like $2.50.
That is unbeatable.
Or you go to a local diner and get a sizzling stone bowl of bibimbap for 8,000 won. It's healthy, filling, and it's cheap. But if you crave a taste of home, if you want a Western-style brunch, avocado toast, eggs Benedict, a nice latte.
I can feel my wallet hurting already.
You are looking at 20,000 to 40,000 won for a single meal.
So one Western brunch costs the same as 4 or 5 local lunches.
Easily. And it extends to groceries. If you buy local veggies and tofu, your grocery bill is low. If you want imported cheese, cereal, or fruit, I have seen watermelons selling for $30 or $40.
For a watermelon.
Yes. Fruit is a luxury item in Korea, so if you insist on eating exactly the way you do back home, your cost of living will skyrocket.
So the hack is adapt.
Yeah.
Eat the kimchi stew.
It's delicious anyway. Why travel halfway around the world to eat a turkey sandwich?
Good point. What about getting around? I know the subway is famous.
The Seoul Metro is world-class. It's clean, safe, and goes everywhere. And it is cheap. A ride is roughly 1,450 to 2,001.
And there's a specific card we need.
The T-Money card. You pick it up at any convenience store. The best feature is the transfer discount.
Oh.
If you take the subway and then transfer to a bus within 30 minutes, you don't pay a full fare again. You just pay a tiny surcharge for the distance.
That is a pro tip.
The danger zone here is taxis. Taxis are available, apps make them easy to hail, but if you rely on them daily because you're too lazy to walk to the subway, you will blow your budget.
They have the traffic.
The traffic in Seoul is no joke. You will often pay to sit in a gridlock while the subway zooms right underneath you.
So walk, ride the train, eat the local food.
It's the best way to see the city anyway.
I want to synthesize all of this.
Yeah.
The source material actually broke down the costs into 3 distinct tiers of living. I think this helps our listeners visualize where they might fit in.
Yes, this is great. It combines rent, food, transport, and a bit of fun into a total monthly burn rate.
Let's start with Tier 1, the student or budget traveler.
Okay, this profile is prioritizing savings over everything. They are likely living in a Gosha, which is a very small room, often just a bed and desk, sometimes a shared bathroom.
Right, very basic.
And they are eating strictly local food, convenience store meals, university cafeteria food,
And walking everywhere.
walking and taking the subway. The data puts their total monthly cost between about 962,000 and 1.6 million won.
So roughly 750 to 1,200 USD.
That is incredibly accessible for a major global capital, but it is a Spartan lifestyle.
For sure. Okay, Tier 2, the young professional. This feels like the move and stay demographic.
This is the sweet spot. You are in a nice serviced apartment or a high-end co-living space, something comfortable where you can actually work.
You are eating local mostly, but you treat yourself to a nice dinner or a craft beer a couple times a week. You take a taxi when it's raining.
What's the damage?
This lands between 1.65 million and 2.5 million won. So roughly $1,250 to $1,900 USD.
That is fantastic value. You are living in a modern, high-tech city in a comfortable apartment, eating well, for under $2,000 a month.
It is very competitive compared to, say, Singapore, Hong Kong, or Tokyo.
And finally, Tier 3, the comfortable living.
This is the I want it all tier. Upscale dining, maybe a larger service department in a prime district like Gangnam, higher entertainment budget shopping.
Okay.
This puts you in the 2.5 million to 3.9 million won range.
So pushing towards $3,000 USD.
Right. But notice that even the luxury tier is relatively capped. It's hard to spend $5,000 or $6,000 a month unless you are really, really trying to burn money.
It seems like the jump between Tier 2 and Tier 3 is almost entirely down to lifestyle choices.
It is. It's the difference between drinking soju and drinking imported wine. It's the difference between the subway and the taxi. So, if we zoom out, for the listener who is prepping for a business trip or a remote work stint, what is the takeaway?
The takeaway is that the sticker price of rent is just the beginning of the story. If you are staying for less than a year, the traditional Korean housing market is, well, it's designed to work against you.
Right.
It demands capital you probably don't want to lock up.
The dreaded Gen T deposit.
Exactly. The smartest play is to bypass that system entirely. Use the infrastructure that exists for you. Whether it's moveandstay.com or similar platforms, finding a serviced apartment allows you to keep your liquidity.
You pay a premium on the monthly rate, but you buy yourself freedom.
You buy flexibility, you buy the ability to leave if you need to, you buy the simplicity of one monthly bill instead of 5.
And when you factor in the all-inclusive utilities, the cost difference often shrinks significantly anyway.
Exactly. It's looking at the total cost of ownership rather than just the rent line item.
And for a business traveler, time is money.
Precisely. Do you want to spend 3 days setting up internet and gas accounts, or do you want to land and start working?
I think we both know the answer to that.
I certainly do.
Well, this has been a massive eye-opener. I think I was definitely underestimating the deposit situation. It's not just a quirk, it's a real barrier to entry.
It is. But once you know how to navigate around it, Seoul is an incredibly welcoming city.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought to mull over. We talked a lot about the financial side saving, that $30,000 deposit.
The liquidity argument.
Right. But let's take it a step further. If you free up $30,000 by avoiding a traditional deposit, how does that change the way you experience the city?
That's a great question.
It's not just about having money in the bank. It's about what that money allows you to do. Does having that safety net let you take more risks? Maybe you take a Korean language intensive course. Maybe you travel to Busan or Jeju on the weekends.
Maybe you invest in that side hustle you've been dreaming about. Does the flexibility to move neighborhoods or even leave early outweigh that slightly higher monthly premium?
That is the question. Is your money sitting dead in a landlord's account, or is it fueling your experience?
I think for most of us, we want the fuel.
I couldn't agree more. That's it for this deep dive into the costs of Seoul. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
Safe travels, everyone.